Connectivity, हमेशा खुश रहो. A very good morning to myself, Dr. Ravi, Assistant Professor, Department of Practice of Medicine, Faculty of Political Science, JAYOTI VIDYAPEETH. Today we are going to start a new chapter, that is Alimentary tract diseases. In today's chapter, we will be discussing about the introduction of the alimentary tract and dysphagia. So let's start with the alimentary tract diseases. This is the alimentary tract. The anatomy you already have studied in the first year, so you won't be repeating in the detail. You just have a look at the anatomy. We have a mouth, that is the oral cavity. We have tongue. We have carotid gland, sublingual gland, sphincter, and sublingual gland also there. And from there, the esophagus descends downwards. There is a liver and stomach. There is also gallbladder and pancreas. We have large intestine, small intestine, and lungs. So this is the brief anatomy of the alimentary tract. We will be discussing about the various disorders of the alimentary tract. We won't be going into detail about the anatomy and the physiological and functioning of each and every organ because I believe we have already studied these things in the first year. So let's move ahead with the alimentary tract disorders. Diseases of the gastrointestinal tract are major cause of morbidity and mortality. So the diseases of the GI tract, these are the major causes of various kind of mortality and conditions. They develop as a result of abnormalities within and outside of the gut. So these develops, why these are developing? Just because of the abnormalities within and outside the gut. They range in the severity from mild symptoms and no long-term morbidity to intractable symptoms or adverse outcome. So there is a great variety of symptoms, and they can be mild and they can be severe. Big range of symptoms and their severity. The diseases may be localized to one organ, that is, it can be localized to one organ or exhibit diffuse involvement at many other sites. Classification of the GI disorders. The gastrointestinal disorders can be classified into multiple forms. They can be due to impaired digestion and absorption. Number one. Second one, this classification is done on the basis of physiology, but only physiological function. When this physiological function gets disturbed, accordingly the classification has been taken. So the disorders can be classified on the basis of impaired digestion and absorption. There can be altered secretion. The third one is altered gut transit. Fourth one is immune dysregulation. The next one is impaired gut blood flow. We also have neoplastic degenerations. There are various disorders without any obvious organic anomalies, like irritable bowel syndrome can be there. There can be functional dyspepsias, functional chest pain, and functional heartburn. Why these are called functional? Because they don't have any underlying pathology, just symptoms are present without any underlying pathology. And there are various genetic influences which can affect the individual. There are different symptoms of the GI disorder. The various symptoms includes the abdominal pain, heartburn. There can be nausea and vomiting. There can be altered bowel habits. Altered bowel habits consist of constipation and diarrhea. There can be GI bleeding or jaundice. Jaundice is also an important feature of GI disorder. There can be other symptoms like dysphagia, that is difficulty in swallowing, odynophagia, that is painful swallowing, and unexplained chest pain. So there can be other symptoms like this. There can be weight loss, anorexia, that is no desire to eat anything, and fatigue. I will again repeat the symptoms of the GI disorders. This is very important. So the GI disorders presents with abdominal pain. There can be heartburn. There can be nausea and vomiting, altered bowel habits. There can be GI bleeding, jaundice, and there may be other symptoms like dysphagia, odynophagia, and extreme chest pain, weight loss, anorexia. Now, there are various alterations in the GI functions. So, what are the alterations? This we are going to study one by one. The different alterations. Alteration in the GI function. When the gastrointestinal system is not functioning properly, there can be this kind of alterations like dysphagia can be there, that is difficulty in swallowing. Dyspepsia, there can be vomiting. We will be discussing these conditions one by one, so you don't have to worry about it. There can be vomiting and gastrointestinal bleeding. There can be diarrhea, weight loss, constipation, and abdominal. I will again repeat this thing: dysphagia, dyspepsia, vomiting, gastrointestinal bleeding. There can be diarrhea, weight loss, constipation, and pain. What is dysphagia? Dysphagia is defined as a difficulty in swallowing. Odynophagia is painful swallowing. There is another condition called as globus pharyngeus. Is the sensation of numb that is lodged in the throat, with swallowing unaffected. Dysphagia can occur due to the problems in the oropharynx or esophagus. So dysphagia can occur due to the problems in the oropharynx or esophagus. It is caused by two mechanisms. Two main mechanisms are there, that is mechanical obstruction or motor dysfunction. So there can be mechanical obstruction or there can be motor dysfunction. The mechanical causes can be luminal, intrinsic to the esophagus, or extrinsic to the esophagus. So mechanical causes can be luminal, can be located within the lumen space. It can be intrinsic to the esophagus, or can be extrinsic to the esophagus. The motor functions, the motor functional abnormalities may defects in initiating the swallowing reflex. So there can be defect in the motor functioning which will cause swallowing reflex difficulty and the disorders of the pharyngeal and esophageal striated muscles. So the pharyngeal and esophageal striated muscles can have some kind of disorders, and the disorders of the esophageal smooth muscles can also be present. Now, what are the various investigations that will be done in the cases of dysphagia? For assessing dysphagia, you can check for, you can perform endoscopy. You can put endoscope in the patient through the oral cavity, and then you can check for any kind of abnormalities that are mentioned above. This is the investigation of choice. We can also do barium swallow with video fluoroscopy swallowing assessment. So barium swallow with video fluoroscopic swallowing assessment, and we can also go for esophageal manometry. So these are the various investigations that can be done in the cases of dysphagia. Now this is the flow chart showing how the dysphagia, when a patient is approaching to you, what should be checked for, and what can be the probable diagnosis. Now there are two conditions. Number one, difficulty in swallowing, that includes coughing, choking, and nasal regurgitations. You have to see for oropharyngeal dysphagia, and there can be multiple etiologies. If the food stops and sticks after swallowing, there can be esophageal dysphagia. There are two conditions: solid food only, that can be due to mechanical obstruction. It can be progressive or intermittent. In the cases of progressive, it can be due to heartburn, or that can lead to peptic stricture. That can be resulting from peptic stricture. And if the age is greater than 3 years, then carcinoma can be the reason for progressive mechanical obstruction for solid food. If there is intermittent mechanical obstruction for solid food, it can be due to lower esophageal pressure. Now, if there is esophageal dysphagia for both solids and liquid, it can be due to neuromuscular disorder. And there are again two conditions: progressive or intermittent. In the progressive, there can be chronic heartburn, which can be due to scleroderma. And it can also be due to respiratory symptoms, which can occur in the activation heart. If the condition is intermittent, then it can be due to the chest pain, and that occurs in diffuse esophageal spasm. So this was all about the introduction to the alimentary canal and the dysphagia. In the next lecture, we will be talking about dyspepsia and vomiting. In these lectures, we will not be talking about the management part, because the management these are the symptoms only, like dysphagia or dyspepsia or vomiting. These are not clinical diagnosis. These are basically the symptoms which are present in many different conditions. So first of all, we have to see that what are the differential diagnosis of a case of dysphagia or a case of vomiting or a case of dyspepsia, and then according to that clinical condition, we have to decide for the management. So in these topics, no management will be discussed, and the management will be discussed on the particular disease condition. So this session was powered by Digital version 2.0, JAYOTI VIDYAPEETH Women's University. I hope you are satisfied with the digital session. If you have any query, please mention in the comment box. I'll try to answer. So this was all for today. Thank you very much. We will meet in the next lecture.